Hello and welcome to Leading Voices by GSF. My name is Antoni Lacinai, Global Keynote Speaker. And today I have the President of the Canadian Association, Mark Black, with me. Mark, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Anthony. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. This is the first time we actually talk.
Yeah, it's about time, I guess.
It is about time, absolutely. I've been to Canada a number of times, but again, this is the first time. So I'm happy that we have this conversation. And hopefully we'll bring some value also to all the associations around the world. Right now it's 17. Perhaps when this is aired, it's 18 or 19. There's a couple of them coming in. We'll see. But it's great fun. Before we go into the association and your presidency inside the association, tell us about you. What is it that what insights do you share with the world?
So I'm a resilience expert. My background is that I had a life-saving heart and double lung transplant in 2002 after a lifelong illness, and then was able to run some marathons after that. And so that gave me this platform that, people started to ask, well, how did you do that? And how did you overcome this adversity? And that's developed into a career speaking about resilience and how do we grow through adversity.
Did I get this right? You had both your lungs transplanted?
Both lungs and heart all at the same time.
And heart?
Yeah.
And then you ran marathons?
Yeah.
Okay. I get why you get to speak on stages about resilience. I have had neither, but I've only run a couple of half marathons, and that's enough. I'm not going to do more than that. So I guess I have things to learn from you as well. Thank you for sharing that story as well. All right. You are the president since just a few months when we have this conversation. What is it that you would like your legacy to be with your presidency?
I think we're at a point with our association where, and perhaps others are dealing with the same thing. The nature of the speaking industry in general is that people tend to come to the association later on in life, right? We don't have a lot of members that are 20, 25, 28 years old because they have to, you have to develop expertise and you have to have had some experience. And as a result, we're now at a point where we have a lot of members in the later stages of their career. And we're not necessarily filling the pipeline as much as we'd like to be with younger members. And so we're looking at what do we do about that? How do we make sure that we're sustainable long term? I think one of the things we need to look at, we just had a conversation yesterday, is reevaluating our membership criteria and deciding if we're being a little more exclusive than we need to be. But we also want to maintain the integrity of the association and make sure that the programming is relevant for the people that do have experience and are doing running very successful businesses. So it's always that balancing act of helping the newer person develop and also being relevant to the person who's running a very successful, thriving business. And that comes with challenges.
How is it? What does it look like right now when it comes to membership? Is it one membership deal and that's it? Or do you have different levels?
Well, we actually, technically we have 3 different membership categories. So we have a professional member, and then we have supplier members. So those are companies, organizations who supply services to speakers. So they might be videographers, they might be promotional product people or things like that. And then we have what we call legacy members, which are people who have been members for a long time, are perhaps winding down their career or not quite as busy, but we want to keep them around, A, because they've contributed a lot, and B, because they have wisdom to share. And so that's where we are right now. In the past, we've called it different things, associate, candidate, different versions of a membership that's sort of a step to professional speaking where, I'm getting started, I'm speaking a little bit, and that was sort of the way for people to come into the association. And I think we're at a stage where we're examining whether that was we closed that program for a variety of reasons several years ago, pre-COVID. And for a variety of reasons, I think we're looking at how do we perhaps revive something like that, because we're finding that we have a lot of people kind of knocking on the door of CAP saying we want to be a part of this, and we're saying, well, I'm sorry, you don't meet the membership criteria yet.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I've actually heard a couple of what I believe success stories. I think in India, Southern Africa, New Zealand, that are having programs like that for not only perhaps because you're young at age, but also because you're young in the business, so to say. So
Correct.
there
Yeah.
there are absolutely possibilities to do something, and we already have done something before. So now it's about revamping perhaps or refining
Right.
a new version of it, I guess.
Right.
What is your strategy now? How will you do that?
Well, we've done a couple of things. I mean, over the last 3 years, we developed something called the CAPS Academy, which is an online learning platform. And we realized years ago that we had all of this content, right? We've done all these virtual sessions with different members of our association who've shared great wisdom in virtual programs. We had a series of videos for a long time where people were sharing best practices in their business. And those videos would be watched once and then kind of put away and not used again. And we thought, well, that's silly. So we began to create this video vault, if you like. And then, thanks to our incoming president for next year, Natalie Plummeton Thomas and Denny Boudreau, who are our marketing people, they really took the reins last year and said, let's turn this into a learning academy. And so they've gathered all of these resources and actually solicited some more and then formatted it into courses based on themes. So now you can go into the academy as a member of the association and you can buy access to the entire library, or you can buy access to particular modules. So there's a module on marketing, another one on selling, another one on stagecraft, etc. And you get hours and hours and hours of very professional training for not very much money. So that's been the latest way that we've had to kind of bridge that gap. And it's been very successful. But
So
now
do you mean that the professional members, the ones who are professional speakers, it's part of their yearly fee, so to say, so it's included, or do they also have to pay for those
no, so
sessions?
those who are not members pay a fee. Those who are members pay a much reduced fee, but they would still have to buy in either individual modules,
Okay.
or at a discounted rate, they can buy the entire academy if they choose. But
And
it's
the wannabe speakers then, how about them? The ones that you want to get in to rejuvenate the
yeah, so they
associations.
they are they have access to it as well, just at a higher price point than members do.
Okay.
And they also have access to a program that, again, we took that and then went to the next level and created a program called Business Builder Track, which took all of the training modules that were relevant to building a business kind of from the ground up and a live coaching element. So people buy access to the program, and then for a series of weeks, they get a live group call with a facilitator to help them grow their business and get to the point where they are ready to join CAPS. That's the strategy.
So and then they are like on a waiting list almost to get to once they reach a
Correct.
threshold and so on. So you're
Right.
helping them. So
Right.
they're not in yet.
So
It's once
technically
they
not
still have to.
professional members. Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So does that mean that you have separate, for instance, community chats, one for members and one for emerging members, or?
Essentially, yes. So essentially, members of this cohort, if you like, will have an online community when they get together weekly and talk to each other, and they have again a facilitator. And then the hope is that that helps them to build their business to a point where they qualify for professional membership and they become part of the
Mm.
association.
What is it that you have done within in CAPS? It's right, CAPS, isn't it? Before that you're still very proud of, that other association can learn from.
Oh, great. Great question. A program that was developed years ago wasn't my doing. It's something we call each one reach one. And so the idea is if every member of the association who is benefiting and enjoys being part of it were to go out and reach one other speaker who would be a great fit and bring them into the fold, we would double our membership. Now, of course, that doesn't the numbers don't work out to doubling, but that strategy and giving people some tools to talk about the association to other speakers, because we all go out, we go to conferences, we're speaking with on stage with other speakers who are maybe not members of our association, don't know it exists even. And so allowing our members and giving our members the tools to recruit, if you like, has been very successful.
Is there anything that you feel, apart from the fact that you want to perhaps revamp the emerging speakers part and the age difference? Is there anything else that you feel is of a challenge that you foresee that this is also something we need to work on to be even better?
I mean, I think probably we are all in the same boat of trying to figure out how to merge the virtual and the in-person experiences that we develop that we deliver as an association. I mean, for us, prior to 2020, we did almost nothing virtually. I mean, we had a little bit, but not very little. And then, of course, we went almost entirely virtual just because that was the only option for a year or so. And now we're coming back together, and people are thrilled to be back together, and you can feel the energy of that, and it's wonderful. However, where there are also practicalities and economic savings involved in doing certain things virtually. And so it's trying to figure out how can we be as effective as possible with both modalities. And certainly for us in Canada, one of our biggest challenges is that we have 330-ish members spread across a massive geographic space, right? And so for a long time,
it's a big country, yeah.
Yeah. And so we have chapters across the country, which are physical meetings that happen. But those chapters have shrunk. We've gone from 8 or 9 now down to 6, and still we have people who are members of a chapter who would, in theory, they're members of a chapter, but in reality, to get to one of those in-person meetings means a 4, 5, 6 hour drive. And so the reality is you don't get to very many of them, right? And so providing that virtual, the opportunity to get together virtually, both for social reasons and for training, has become really important. And I think it's gonna grow.
Yeah, I remember talking to PSA SA Southern Africa, where they said that they had 3 chapters physical and then 1 virtual for everyone. So it's there are different ways to solve it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ever in contact with the Global Speakers Federation?
Yes,
Is that your representative? You are, yes.
Yeah.
What would you say is the number 1 wish you have moving forward from you to GSF?
Oh wow. Just one. I mean, I'm personally
you can choose more.
Personally, I'm just thrilled to be making these connections with people all over the world who do what we do, because we know that we learn from each other, right? I'm learning all the time about something that another association is doing that's a brilliant idea. Why aren't we doing that? So that networking and those best practices are valuable. And then it's also just personally fun to get to meet folks from around the world. We've had many GSF members attend our conventions over the last several years, and particularly this year because we were in a warm climate for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's really wonderful. And I think helping our members to understand the value of the GSF and what it's really all about is also really important, because many of them, know about it superficially, but don't really understand all that's.
No, it's not for the members as such; it's for the association. So I can get that there is perhaps a gap in knowledge and so on. But yeah. Any other type of call to action you would like to end this with?
No, I mean, I'll just put it out there to say that if there's anything we can do at CAPS to be helpful to any of the other associations, anything I can do personally to be of service, please reach out and let us know. Like everybody, we're still growing and learning, but we have been around for 30 years. And so I know there's some associations that are relatively new. And if there are things we can do to support you and help you, we want to do that, because when other speakers are successful, it makes everybody more successful. So
expanding the pie, back to that. You know what? I'm a sucker for servant mentality, and I always say you get the customers and the colleagues you deserve. So what you just said was, I'm here to serve. So let's do that. Thank you for those wise words at the end as well. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Anthony. Nice to meet you.
And that's it. That's a wrap.
All right.